Recently, I had a friend who had attended the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland, and when he came back, he was talking about so much of the discussion over there was about the energy situation in America and how the Europeans and many parts of the world were genuinely concerned about the abundance of energy that we have in America. The new oil finds, the new shale gas finds, the reserve of coal that we have, and they recognize that America is really at a point that we did not expect to be not too many years ago, that we do have the ability to be energy independent, strong energy security. And when we were preparing for this hearing, I was thinking about, well, what are the obstacles to export? And there are divergent views on this panel, and that's why we have panels, that's why we have open discussions, that's why we have debate, to get that out there. But in my view, the major obstacle to energy exports from this country is the Obama administration. And when he was running for president, he really didn't talk a lot about global or climate change issues in most parts of the country. But yet, if the Council on Environmental Quality, as a result of President Obama's action, does require consideration of both the increase in greenhouse gases and a project's vulnerability to flooding, drought, or other extreme weather that might result from global warming, it's going to transform the way any project will be considered or have the opportunity to be built in our country. It will be a major bottleneck, and what it illustrates to me is that in the energy sector, the most important issue to this administration is global warming, more important than any job outside of the green energy sector, more important than the trade deficit of last year, $455 billion, $573 billion, more important than that, more important than the opportunity to reduce global poverty and increase the standard of living because of the millions of people in the world who do not have electricity. And that's why companies are coming to America to ask for our energy. And yet this president and his administration are making a statement that global warming is more important than anything else when it comes to energy. And we need to have a national debate about it, because I tell you what, the greenhouse, under the Clean Air Act, you look at pollutant, anything can be a pollutant. In the Massachusetts EPA case, they said that it's up to the EPA to make a decision. And they did their endangerment finding, and they decided they're going to regulate greenhouse gases. So if they come out with this regulation where we cannot even build a new coal-powered plant, even though the new plants our emissions are much lower than the old plants, and then if they go further and start regulating existing plants, then America is going to find itself in a very difficult situation, particularly when it comes to being competitive in the global marketplace to attract industry for jobs. Now, I'm all for green energy, and we can talk about all sorts of green energy projects that work and all sorts that fail. Right across the line in Tennessee, 20 miles from my hometown of Hopkinsville, Hemlock Corporation spent $1.3 billion building a plant for component parts of solar panels. They said they were going to create 2,500 jobs. They built a $20 million railroad line into that plant, and they received about $200 million of stimulus funds. And 3 years ago, they started construction. In January, they announced they're not even going to open this plant. So the danger from my perspective is that the government is trying to dictate what energy will be used instead of letting the American people in the marketplace really decide that issue. So this has been a very helpful hearing for me personally. I want to thank all of you for testifying. We have many challenges ahead of us, and my time is